I'm wearing Christmas red. And that means the year's about to wrap up. And we're supposed to, you know, be celebratory of things as well as like embrace the reasons for the season and all that. It's a special year for me simply because I've survived a couple of things and I've endured a couple of things. Some things I can't tell you about, namely how I sustained some injuries. Some other things you already know, loss of family, that sort of thing. But I started celebrating my birthday as Shawnmas. It's just a little play on words. So if Jesus Christ's last name is Christ and he has Christmas, then why can't I have Shawnmas? So technically that should be Durhammas. Okay, I understand that's silly. But anyway, it's not the point. The point is the tradition of Shawnmas goes back 13 years. Or is it 12 years? I think it's about 13 years now. When my father passed away. And at the bottom of that year, I started something called Shawn Palooza, where you just have a festival of hanging out with Shawn or Shawn doing something silly, whether I had friends doing it with me or not. Anyway, the point is this. I needed that. I needed that because it was important to me to have some things feel like a celebration in a time of loss. Well, that was 13 years ago. What was that? Jesus year? 33? 33 is our Jesus year. And now that I'm in my 46th year, Biden's not cool enough to have it called a Biden year. You know, like Obama is 44 and Trump is 45. Biden's not cool enough to call it my Biden year. So my 46th year, I find myself again with another loss this holiday season. But it's cool. I'm going to show you why it's cool. I'm going to show you why there's a reason for the season. Beyond, Jesus and all that. Whoever he is, right? Just kidding. Please don't strike me down. Maybe I should just start the show. Let's do that. The Shawn Show is brought to you by BodyButterBakery.com. Visit www.bodybutterbakery.com for beard and body oils, hydrating shower gels, nourishing body scrubs with popular scents like strawberry lemonade, mango and pineapple, and champagne apple and honey. Yep, all that and more at BodyButterBakery.com, a proud sponsor of The Shawn Show. The Shawn Show welcomes Live PS, Probiotic Skincare. Live probioticskincare.com/Shawn to take advantage of a 20% discount for a new skin cleaner that recharges with revitalizing cleanser, recovers with live probiotic serum, and protects with daily defense moisturizer. That's right, Shawn has been using this product for the past 4 months, and he recommends you do so too. Live probioticskincare.com/Shawn to get 20% off today. Live PS, a proud sponsor of The Shawn Show. All right. Yes, this is The Shawn Show. I am your host, Jay Shawn Durham. This is the final show of the season. Y'all don't even know when the seasons are or whatever, but I do. They're in my head. Like I said, it's Shawn's show. So uh, uh, we do a couple of shows in volumes, and then we take a break. This is my first year doing this. So we started this show back in February. Me and Ty, who's on the road heading to see his mother in Memphis. So safe travels to him as he takes care of business there. He might still chime in. We're not sure, but we'll see. But I got a loaded show for you tonight. I got my man who always kicks it off. He's about to get up here, Dr. Ira Davis. He's going to explain a holiday issue. But yes, this is the Shawnmas show. That means my birthday is Saturday. Shawnmas is Saturday. You all are welcome to give me a gift. And by a gift, drop something in my bank account if you want to do that. You're welcome to do that through jshawndurhaminc@gmail.com through PayPal, or just hit me up in my DMs. Don't slide in my DMs with other stuff. That's foul. I wasn't asking for that. But yeah, so tonight we got a show. It's a holiday edition. And wouldn't you know it, thing about Shawn's show is that I know so many people, and I have so many people in my Rolodex that, including a woman who's going to come up here in about 10 minutes from now. Her name is Charity J. And I knew her back in school as just Charity Johnson. Now she's got the cool J-A-I last name and all that stuff. But she's launched her singing career. And she's got a new holiday project. And I even got clips from that. Hopefully this daggone thing will work. So we'll get on to it. But before I do that, before we get on to anything else, you know what time it is. And I usually have a graphic for them and a greeting, but I don't because I'm mid rearranging the whole show, which I could talk to you about later this evening. But we got my man, Dr. Ira Davis.
Dr. What's
Davis,
up, brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you? Happy early birthday.
No, we don't say birthday. We say Shawnmas. All right.
Happy early Shawnmas. Yeah, I know about the Shawnmas.
Yeah. Dr. Davis, you realize we've been friends probably about 33 years?
Yeah, long time.
That is crazy. How old do you feel? Because I know your birthday is next month, right?
Man, I feel right now, man, like I'm telling you like this, by the age, every day I wake up, I feel like I'm 12 years old when I wake up. I don't know, maybe it's something about the year 1988. I don't know, that maybe 88 was the year. I don't know. But then I look around and I see my wife and I see my kids.
And you see your responsibilities.
You see my responsibilities. Maybe I'm a little older than 12, You know
you got responsibilities because if I get one more daggone call from you about some insurance, y'all, this is an inside joke. But I'm just telling you, it ain't a new year. It has to be a calendar year that passes by when I get a phone call about the Davis household and some insurance shit. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna get into nothing else. I don't want the Georgia Insurance Bureau of Investigation going after you. But Dr. Davis, we usually bring you on this time so you can explain an issue. You said that you have an issue that you would like to explain. Do you have one?
Yeah, I got one.
Is it a holiday issue?
It's a holiday issue.
Okay. What are you going to explain, Doctor?
I am going to explain Kwanzaa.
What? All right. Now, can you explain Kwanzaa in, say, 2 minutes or less?
Yep.
All right. I want to see this. Here's Dr. Davis. He's going to explain Kwanzaa. You got it.
All right. So Kwanzaa is celebrated from December 26th to January 1st every year. Dr. Maulana Karenga created Kwanzaa as a way of uniting and empowering the Black community in 1966. Having modeled his holiday on traditional African harvest festival, he took the name Kwanzaa from the Swahili phrase Matayunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits. Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, but a cultural one with inherent spiritual quality. Africans of all faiths can and do celebrate Kwanzaa, i.e. if you're a Muslim, Christian, Black Hebrew, Jew, Buddhist, Baha'i, Hindu, as well as all those who follow the ancient traditions of Ma'at, Yoruba, Ashanti, Dogon, etc. The 7 principles of Kwanzaa, as determined by Karinga, are Umoja, unity; Kujichagulia, self-determination; Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujima, collective work and responsibility; Ujima, cooperative economics; Nia, purpose; Kumba, creativity; and Imani, which means faith. Kwanzaa has also 7 symbols: the Maazo, the corn; Mkeka, the mat; Kanara, the candle holder; Muhindi, corn; Kukimbicha Umoja, the unity cup; Zawadi, which is gifts; the Mushamba Saba, the 7 candles that are traditionally arranged on the table. 3 of the 7 candles are red, representing the struggle. 3 of the candles are green, representing the land and hope for the future. And 1 of the candles is black, representing the people of African descent. In order to avoid over-commercialization, gifts are handed out to family members on the last day of Kwanzaa, and they're often homemade. Alternately, some you may buy books, music, art, and accessories. All right, preferably from a Black-owned business. And lastly, the holiday has made inroads in the country because it was featured on a stamp, a U.S. postal stamp, in 1997. And that is Kwanzaa.
That is Kwanzaa. I got a cousin named Kwanzaa. No, I'm serious. I do. Y'all celebrate Kwanzaa in the household of Davis?
Yeah, we do.
And y'all give gifts? What type of gifts y'all give?
We give gifts, maybe cultural gifts. We give books. Kids make cookies, homemade stuff like that. So most oftentimes we either give cultural gifts. Like one year we tried to give like a cultural gift. It may be dashiki, shirts, whatever, bracelets, little trinkets. Other years we will try to give them a book. So we just switch it off from year to year.
How thick is this damn book? Because I know how y'all are. How thick are these books that y'all be giving out?
I mean, well, we give, various books. We may give the ISIS papers and various Black books that we feel that the kids.
Oh, wait. I know how many kids are in your family. Right. When did you give? Who was the youngest age of the kids you gave something like the ISIS papers to?
I mean, my 14-year-old, she got ISIS paper.
Did she do a book report on it?
All right, she didn't do the book report on it. She read some of it. I mean, she asked for books like Behold the Pale Horse and, things like that.
Did she like the book? Did she read the book?
She read some of it.
She read the title page of the book.
Nah, she read more than that, but we're just trying to spark those interests in them, so we make sure that those things are culturally available around the house.
I got a quick question for you. Is Dr. Karenga, is he still alive?
He's still alive. He's old.
Have you seen him of late?
I saw him on a video. It was like, you remember like a couple of years ago, they were having like at colleges and stuff, and the people, they were like dancing, the faculty and the graduates and stuff, like they were dancing. Mm-hmm. Like various videos, different colleges were graduating, and then whatever reason they dancing. You remember that? Yeah. It was like the hot thing a couple of years ago.
All right.
And Dr. Karinga, he's a professor at the University of California, and he was in one of the videos with his old self.
With his old, see, all right, you broke it for me because I'm trying to be respectful.
I mean, he's old. I mean, right. Look, he created the holiday back in '66. That's the first. That's the first year it was celebrated in '66, and so shoot, I almost said somebody. One of my siblings was born in that year, so that makes them 56 years.
All right.
And then he was already old at that time. I mean, he looked the same age.
Well, he was old back when he was 26.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave you alone. You look like you're on a stakeout.
Nah, I'm out with the wife. But so I told her what time it was. I had to get on here and do the show.
Does she know that you're out with her? Because you look like Orange Juice Jones in the rain right now. I'm just funning with you. Hey, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Kwanzaa. Wait a minute, I know y'all ain't celebrating Christmas like that, but you know what I mean. Happy holidays.
I know what you mean.
Of course, we'll be talking well before then. I don't know if I'm coming down to Macon or whatever, but if I come to Georgia, I'll let you know.
All right, I look to hear from you, brother.
All right, this is Dr. Davis. He explained the ish.
All right.
He is so good at explaining the ish too. He's a pretty scholastic Negro. Before we get on with the rest of the show, this Christmas PSA.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
COVID. God damn it. Bitch, COVID. Knew I should be hanging out with them. The hell is this? Let's start that shit. Oh, shit. Make this damn toddy. Some bullshit. Please get your COVID tests and be safe. A public announcement from all of us. Yes, there's a public announcement from all of us regarding COVID. COVID still does exist, so do what you gotta do. Wash your nasty ass hands, cover your mouth when you cough, whatever. Do what you gotta do, because the rest of us don't want a Christmas like last year. Although I've been COVID free, and I still don't know how. With that said, my next guest coming up is a longtime cohort and friend of mine. She's a University of Georgia Bulldog. You know how we roll. And I hear in the green room right now yelling something like "Go Dogs" or something like that, because that's how we roll. National champion Bulldogs, wearing the red. Also, it's Christmas red, it's Shawnmas red, it's Bulldog red. But her name is Charity J, and she has an interesting story. I'll let her tell it. But before I bring her up, let's get a little sample of her new Christmas project. This is "Love for Christmas" by Charity J. I cut it in half, so it's not the full song.
'Cause in love I do believe. I wanna hear the sleigh bells ring. Let Santa do his thing. All the mistletoe will hang. We've got a special love for Christmas. Some people want rings, a lot of nice things to be happy, but that's not me. That's not me. I just want love. I just want love. Want love. Want love. Every day I hope 'Cause I'm gonna find my love. I'm trying to find my love. Love is in the air for Christmas.
You know, as the old folks say, that's all right right there. That's all right. It's so all right that she's in the green room smiling. So let me bring her up because you don't want to see my ugly mug anymore. Charity, are you there? There she is.
I'm here. Hey.
Woo. Your red looks better than mine because it's on you.
Well, you know what? It's not quite bulldog red, but this is my Shawnmas red, just for you.
You know what? That is proper Shawnmas red, actually, because it's actually a little bit more it's darker. It's not quite Bama burgundy. We ain't going there. No, we ain't there. No.
Okay,
no,
yeah.
No.
This is more berry. This is more like a holly berry.
It's a holly berry.
It's a berry red.
Yeah, I like Holly Berry. She's cute.
She's cute.
Charity, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
You look well. You look fantastic. I like your setup here. You got a little tree in there. You got look like a keyboard back there. You got a little color.
In my music room, I've got drums, keyboards, lights, all kinds of things. But
really,
color to the right. Yeah.
All right. So we've known each other pretty much since like, the
90s.
Yes, the 90s. You know, we're Generation X all the way. And so I saw this venture that you had out because we followed each other on Facebook and stuff. And it's like you up and said, "Hey guys, I'm following my dream. I'm a singer now." Bam. Tell us this story because I think the story also has part to do with the last name that you now do not have anymore. Correct. So if you don't mind, because there's lots of listeners and watchers of this show who have been in similar straits. So I just want your mindset and if you could, in your own way, tell us what happened.
Sure. So my whole lifetime, I've always wanted to be a singer and entertainer, triple threat, singer, dancer, actress is what I've always been. I grew up taking ballet, tap, jazz, acrobatics, baton twirling, drama.
She can dance too. Yeah.
Huh? Yes, dance. I love dance. And so I idolized Whitney Houston, 1985, Saving All My Love for You, You Give Good Love. That's when I really, really fell in love with R&B. Having grown up on my parents' 45s and listening to Motown, but it was Whitney that really just embodied class and elegance and sophistication on stage. And that's when I had this epiphany. This is what I want to do. It's how I want to be. And so I got to do a whole lot of things in terms of baton competitions and dance and all of those things. But I always sang. Stage, my first stage was my church, Shiloh Baptist Church in my hometown, Waycross, Georgia. So that's the first place where my daddy on the front pew on the right side of the church would say, "I want to have my daughter come up and sing for us." And I'd be like, and he said, "You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready." And that became the first place where I was always ready to sing at the drop of a hat. Fast forward, I went to college, University of Georgia, where, yes, we met at that time. And I performed. And Go Dogs. Go Dogs. #1 champions.
And we're gonna stay there, suckers.
Yes, we are. Amen.
Deal with it.
That's right. Stay ready for it. And so I performed with the band in college, but between seasons, just having fun and wasn't laser focused on it. I got married early at 25, had my first child at 27, and quite frankly, I became focused on being a wife and a mother. And putting everything and everyone else first, my dreams kind of sort of began to die on the vine. And I relegated myself, my dreams, and the desires of my heart to the back seat to be a wife and a mom. And the marriage did not work. 12 years and 3 children later, I have 2 girls and a boy. And through the process of therapy and self-reflection and the pursuit of spiritual healing, I decided to reinvent myself. I decided to get back to loving myself and honoring myself. And it was a decision. I, for example, made the decision to stay in a loveless, no good marriage because I wanted to stay for the kids, because I was financially dependent, because I didn't think I could do better. But one day enough was enough. And I decided tearfully in the shower today's the day. I have the strength to do whatever it is I need to do next because I can't do this. And so I'm very intentional about saying the choice, because I remember the moments where I made incremental new choices all the time, that I'm choosing joy, I'm choosing self, I'm choosing to operate within my gifts and harness and share my power. And so in that space in the last 6 years, I decided to become what it was I believe I was destined to be, and that is an entertainer, and it's a singer, and sharing messages of love. And this is my last little part of the story. I was 5 years ago talking to someone. They were like, my middle name is Quincy. I'm named for my maternal grandmother. It's Charity Quincy Johnson. And they were like, your name should be Quincy J. I was like, I don't like that. It sounds juvenile. It sounds like, maybe I'm a rapper or something. And I was like, that person was like, no, it's Quincy J. And again, I'm not on solid footing yet. This is a very new territory that I'm navigating for myself. And so I really questioned, should I be Quincy J? Is that what the people want? Is that what the people would resonate with better? And literally, God spoke to me in the shower a lot, shower and driving. Your name is Charity on purpose. You were called forth to be light and to be love. And from that point on, it's Charity. My name intentionally is Charity. I was called forth in this realm to embody that. And so my story, my music is about self-love and about love for others in all kinds of shapes and forms and sizes. And so I decided to move from this desperate woman who felt unloved and unworthy to create a new reality for myself as a singer and an entertainer.
We're here with Charity J, singer, songstress, entertainer, and all those things. And I'm struck by the knowledge, not the knowledge, but the terminology. You said it's a decision. I always tell people, you can't expect God to just do things for you. You have to acknowledge the power of God so he can make those things get done. So that's my thing. So it's not that God ain't able, but he still got to deal with your mind and how you think. And so you said it's a decision. Did you always think that it would be a decision? Were you hoping for some sort of rescue beforehand? Because you were in a marriage where you said you were putting forth so much effort and energy and you were dependent on him, and that didn't work out. And you said decision, I think, about 5 times when you were telling that story. So if you could go into that, when did you know that it would be a decision instead of, well, I won't say that you had to save yourself, but in many regards, you had to get yourself right so you can till that land to be fertile for something different.
Absolutely. Shawn, change your mind, change your life. It's just simple. And it's easier said than done. It was a process of unpacking a lot of things that I told myself. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. I teach my children, think it, speak it, believe it, and it can be so. And I've learned to not just say that, but to live that. And so, yes, intentionally, I say decide. Intentionally, I say choice, because I've learned help isn't coming. I'm the help. I am the reason that everything that is happening for me, to me, with me, I am the source. The power is within me. And that is something that I had to learn. You know, having grown up in church, you hear things, but as the elders say, keep living. I had to keep living to really understand all the truth and the knowledge that I had been exposed to. And I had to keep living to learn to unpack it, learn to say what applies and what doesn't, learn to explore beyond the realm of the knowledge I had been exposed to at that point in my life. And so, yes, help wasn't coming. I had to save myself. Yes, I had to change my mind and my outlook. I had to decide. I had to be intentional about my words. I had to change my self-talk track, because for a long time, not only did I tell myself I was too old for this, because I'm not 21. Also, people told me I was too old. In the music
great,
right now,
I'm just mumbling to myself that you look good.
Oh, thank you.
Carry on, Terry.
But I've had several people tell me that I'm too old for this, that the ship has sailed and my time has passed. And I had to tell them. I told one guy off straight up. I was like, you don't know my destiny. I'll be sure to thank you from the Grammy stage, because it pissed me off and it fueled me in that moment and since. Every time a man in particular tells me I'm too old and that if I'm not selling sex, then oh well, it's too late for you. There's, you can't compete. I'm not trying to compete. First of all, I'm trying to live out my truth through the music in accordance with my destiny. And that's a little different than competing.
So how long did it take you to get that going?
A long time, a lifetime.
A lifetime. Well, a lifetime to
lifetime.
get you to here. A lifetime to get you to here. But what date was the pivot date? Can you name the date? Was it like before a divorce? Was it during a separation? And that's one question. It's one part of the question. And the second question, I'm trying to get shorter with my questions. The second question, which is still part of that first part. I lost it. So go with the first part.
Okay. There were a few moments. I remember it was December 20th, 2014, that I sat crying in church, crying my eyes out. And my now ex-husband was embarrassed and was like, gosh, because the ushers are coming and they're like, oh, descending upon, like, what's wrong with her? And I remember even in that moment, I couldn't even express the fullness of my grief because I was concerned that he was embarrassed of me crying like this at church. So that was one moment. Fast forward the moment that something happened with how he disciplined my older daughter, and I saw her shake in fear. And I was like, oh no, you can abuse me emotionally. You don't get to do that to my child. That was a moment for me. And as I tell women, if you don't have the strength to fight for yourself, fight for your babies. They don't have a voice without you. Model what it is you want them to repeat in terms of their thought processes and their behaviors. That was a moment, standing in the shower and crying and saying, God, like, save me from this. I can't go on, was a moment. Standing there and that man was telling me that I was too old to do music was another moment. Deciding that my name would be Charity J when some people told me that it should be something else was a moment. So there have been moments incrementally where I find strength and I reset and I'm clear about reclaiming my power in those moments that I've learned to net. People say, make your haters your motivators. Ooh, I've gotten so good at it. I laugh. I make my enemies my footstool all the time.
That's how you gain confidence by taking agency step by step, right? You declare little victories and then they become bigger things because Absolutely. You have confidence to do more things, and before you know it, you've built some strength where you were once broken. I have a whole thing on this in the second hour when I talk about something else here on the Shawn Show. But we're here with Charity J, and we're going to get into her new holiday project. But before I do that, I did want to ask you, how did you come to therapy? Because a lot of people, like, the darker the berry, the bigger the ignorance too of the need for therapy. So how'd you come to that conclusion? And was it just marital therapy, or was it clearly was some individual work as well after the fact?
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely. I came to therapy in a place of desperation. Marriage, the fallout of my marriage was the starting place for self-discovery and self-reflection. It was the thing God used to really get my attention, because my identity, again, was so wrapped up in being a wife and a mom that I lost sight of everything and everyone else. So that was the thing that God said, okay, this thing that you've been holding on to so tightly, let me shake it loose. And so I went to a Christian therapist who's amazing. He started to talk about koinonia, I think that's how you say it, relationships and love. So I started to not just unpack my marriage, but unpack some Christianity, because it was Christianity that taught me to stay married no matter what. God is going to heal your marriage. And that's when I had to get filled with the Holy Spirit and go, no, why would God call me to stay in an abusive situation? Let me unpack what I thought I knew. Let me challenge what I thought I knew, and let me come to a new understanding and a new place so that I can be a new person and be what it is I was created to be. I had to unpack all of that, and it absolutely is something that I advocate for. My daughter has been in therapy, and I need to actually sign her up again. But yeah, I believe in it. We can't just rely on self because we can't see ourselves, and people are professionals at seeing us, seeing through us to help us navigate through things that seem insurmountable. So absolutely go to therapy, stay in therapy. There's no shame in therapy. Therapy can heal the hurt and help elevate us to a new level.
Well, that is fantastic, and what I'm enamored with here is that it sounds like you didn't throw out the baby with the bathwater as far as your faith is concerned.
Mm-mm.
You actually, it sounded like, did more of a deeper dive into the text, into learning what your faith is really telling you and listening to the Holy Spirit, or for some people it'll be for whatever. I believe in the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And rolled up your sleeves into understanding what is God trying to tell you and what to do. And understanding that you can use that and don't have to go to something completely different and get the reform and the strength that you need within those confines of what you know and what you still need to know, because being what I know of all faiths and religions, particularly being a Christian, is that you're never done learning.
Mm-mm.
And you learn until the day you die. And when you die, you learn how to die, and that's the last lesson you have. So that's very fascinating that you went with that, and I just want to applaud you for saying that, because so many people think that you have to turn over everything. I say like this: it's The Price is Right when trying to guess the car, and you get three numbers of the car right, and they give you that second chance. Then you change all the numbers up, and you get back to one number right. You may not have need to change up all the numbers to get the car right. So we're here with Charity J, and now let's talk about her career. So it's an ignorant thing I noticed while I was pulling clips, and I think you know what I'm getting at, but I'm pulling the clip to the video. I'm like, oh, that's a nice little video. I'm like, what is that, Lil Zane? What the hell is Lil Zane doing in there? Where did she find Lil Zane? Who said, yo, Lil Zane? Yeah, that's me. Come on in this video. How did that happen? And tell us about this project, Love for Christmas, and why Christmas album, by the way.
Okay, well, cool. So I'll start with the first question. Lil Zane is a brother to my manager, Rashik Whitlow. Rashik Whitlow owns and operates Rockwood Entertainment. And he and Lil Zane have worked together on a few different projects. Lil Zane is amazing. Like, he's really talented. He's really good. He has the it factor. Like, he came in on set and he said, we should do it like this. And in one take, we did it just like Lil Zane said it. And it was great. So that's how Lil Zane came to me, through my manager, Rashik Whitlow, and Rockwood Entertainment. And he's phenomenal to work with. I hope to get a chance to work with him again.
And also, Lil Zane ain't no joke, though. While I'm making jokes, I looked up his net worth, 3 to 5. I'll be quiet. I ain't gonna put his business out there, but yeah, Lil Zane got some money. So everyone,
he's so creative. He has a web series of things. I had an opportunity to do a table read with him on his web series. Like, creative, smart, business minded. So much respect for Lil Zane and the work he's doing in the industry. So it was totally an honor and a privilege to have him in the video.
So when you're talking about your style, because you were talking about your love for R&B, and I feel like we were coming up in the golden era of R&B.
Yes,
it's that sweet spot. The sweet spot where everyone wasn't just saying all the harsh things, but they were finding flowery Ron Isley ways to say it, or Anita Bakerisms to say it. And they looked good and they still had manners, but they weren't going to take no stuff. And I could see my aunties putting away the ashtray butts and the cigarettes from grown folks hanging out, and smell the Bacardi rum. That type of R&B. All right, I'm getting into it too much, but y'all know my love for R&B. I would love to play some of it here. I got a list of top 10 Christmas songs coming up from Black folks later in the second hour. But your style, what would you say your style is for your music? And first of all, keep repeating where we can find you, because I know it's like hear Charity sing, right? But make sure you keep plugging your platforms.
Yeah, hearcharitysing.com, HEAR charity, CHARITY sing.com. That's my handle on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Hear Charity Sing. And it's my email, hearcharitysing@gmail. My style is all about, I call it new era soul. It is classic R&B revisited intentionally. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up listening to 45s. I heard One in a Million You by oh gosh, I was gonna say Lenny Williams.
That's
Larry Graham.
Larry Graham, the one who brainwashed Prince.
Oh, that was my favorite all-time love song for a long
Really?
time.
Larry Graham? You are from Ware County. Yeah, that's Larry Graham.
Waycross. I remember hearing it on that 45 and it skipped and the life show compassion. Like literally, I grew up listening to that. And again, here comes Whitney, and I discover Shaka and Anita, and then comes Mariah. That's the era that really shaped me. My
Rhythm and
formative
blues. Legit rhythm and blues, not soul, but rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues and the soul. There's a little bit of nuance, but all of that shaped me. And when I sing, that's what I sing. I sung someplace and they were like, well, we don't want so much of the vibrato. So I had to learn not to sing that soulful from the gut vibrato and sing it up here like this. But that's not what comes naturally. What comes naturally out of me is the thing that I used to do when I had the microphone in my hand at church. And when I'm in my comfort zone, that's who I am as an artist. And that's who I want to be. And I want to come back to the place where women carry themselves a certain way. I'm not going to preach today, but that it's about the talent and that who we are at our heart, lovers, nurturers, caregivers, and that we can exude femininity in a way that commands respect, but is also alluring. And I grew up seeing that done over and over and over again. And that's what's important to me personally, to model and to rediscover that part of the R&B and soul industry.
She's a good-looking woman and a great voice. She's Charity J, telling us that she is actually 92 years old, but she's looking forever young.
30. I'm 30.
Give or take. Now tell us, why Christmas? Why the Christmas project?
Well, Christmas has always been special to me, but it's also been hard. My daddy died November 15th, 1994. He had an aneurysm. He had a headache on Sunday, and he went into a coma and passed away on a Tuesday night. I was in 11th grade. And the holidays have been hard ever since. It takes time for that wound to slowly heal, but I always get sad. Energetically, my energy gets low around mid-November. And sometimes I don't even remember why, but my spirit is like, oh, is it the moon? What's the moon doing? Oh, it's November 10th or 11th. So rewind to last December 2021, I was working from home, but I didn't have a lot of billable hours. I'm a communications consultant. And so in my spare time, I was vacillating between being bored and being anxious because I didn't have a lot of work, not a lot of money. But I went down a rabbit hole of going down a YouTube channel and discovered the track for this song. And the song wrote itself. And the first verse that wrote itself was a tribute to Daddy, that Daddy would dress up like Santa because my mama told me Santa was black. My daddy was my Santa. And so that was kind of the mindset that I was. As I'm thinking about Christmas and I'm thinking about love for Christmas, I think about one of my first loves was my daddy. And so the first verse kind of wrote itself. And then I wrote the rest of it in about 30, 45 minutes. But it was like December 10th. So it's too late to write and produce a Christmas song. So I just emailed it to myself and parked it. Fast forward to October of this year, something brought to my remembrance, you wrote a Christmas song. And I was, I texted my manager, Rock, I wrote a Christmas song, I want to record it. And he's like, okay, bet. He booked me some studio time for Thursday. And I was like, okay, that gives me a week. He's like, no, 2 days from now, Thursday, I'll see you in the studio. And to take a step back, I have allowed fear in one form or another to paralyze me. I'm afraid to succeed and afraid to fail, afraid to go, but afraid to stop. So thankfully, Rock is always pushing me. and always saying go. He's always got his foot in my back, like
That's what a
go.
manager is for.
Yes, like go. I believe in you. You got the talent. We've got the resources. Go. So I went and recorded the song. I shared a snippet of it on Facebook, and like in 2 days, like 1,100 people had viewed a 15-second clip and were like, I can't wait for the song. I was like, really? Me? And so it spurred me to say, okay, I'm doing this. And even with the music video, Lil Zane wasn't supposed to be my love interest. My love interest said that coming up to North Gwinnett was too far for him.
Well, he's probably the only fellow who could like see eye to eye with you. Well, just kidding.
Hush your mouth.
You can't have Big Zane up there, then you'll just be you at the rib cage.
But you know, that guy, he basically X'd himself out of history. Sorry, not sorry. So things work out as they should, because it brought to fruition that, you know, I had no expectation that the song would do so well and that it would be so well received, and that so many people would send me private messages and notes to say, I love this, not just the song, I love the sound. Because again, I've heard so many people in the music business tell me, no, that sound is dead. You gotta get naked. You gotta have a certain sound. You gotta do some certain things if you want to get ahead. And sorry, we're not gonna pick this up.
No, it's very clean, but it's grown, and it's, you know, it's a grown up feeling, and it's like, all right, we get to wear our sweaters. We've got a little bit of success, and now we could sit around and chill and be adults
Mhm.
while we hang out and
Yeah,
talk and feel each other out. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was
thank you.
thoroughly impressed, and so I'm like, oh, I could use this as a clip. Yeah,
Please,
I, I,
thank
I
you.
would play the whole
I said,
thing. I didn't want to just play the whole video, but you know.
and I appreciate that, because I wanted to capture the essence of Black love and Black family. And those are my real friends. I know all those people. They are my real friends right here in North Gwinnett. Families, kids. There were like 15 kids racing down the steps, waving over the banister. The house was full of love and laughter. And that video captures the essence of my life at this stage. And what, again, getting back to my name is charity, is love. And this shows love for daddy, love for the man I hope that I get to be, you know, married to in the future, love for relationships and people around us, just love. And so that was the objective, and I'm glad that to see that you liked it.
Are you a woman, getting back to your personal life, are you a woman looking for a man like your daddy? If you were to play therapist on yourself, as
Mm.
far as like how would how would that man look or seem to be personality wise?
Um, I
Or
want a
is
man.
there a guy right now, Charity J?
I would say I want a man who's a better man, iteration of my daddy. My daddy was a good man, hardworking, family oriented, who admittedly to us, and I was 16 when he died, but he always alluded to, I didn't always make the best choices. And I'm not proud of my past. And one day when you're older, I'll tell you about it. But he was very clear that it was faith that helped him, you know, make the choice to move forward and to be a better person. So when I think about, you know, my, not just my ex-husband, but the men that I've dated, all of them have been an iteration of my daddy. It's a thing, and you know, hardworking, family oriented, caring a lot about the relationship between daddy daughter and those kinds of things. So I just, you know, for me, chemistry, communication, connection, I want alignment. I want divine alignment. I had a chance to go see Michelle Obama here in Atlanta, and Tyler Perry interviewed her. And one of the things that Michelle Obama said was to be partnered well. It is so true, because I try not to look at it as being off track, being married to that man for 12 years. But it certainly changed the trajectory of my life because I was not partnered well. And so we can't underestimate, not just in marriage, but in dating, whether you're dating to marry or dating for fun, to be partnered well matters. It can amplify the best or the worst in you. That person can be a mirror of a lot of your own trauma and mess. And so I want a man who reflects back not just the goodness in him, but the goodness in me.
Well, it sounds like you also have a lot of optimism still. Like I know some women who've gone through similar things and reversals of fortune and revampings of their career and livelihoods after a bad relationship or a bad marriage or what have you. But it sounds like you're still very optimistic and hopeful as opposed to completely turned off. Was there ever a period where you were just completely turned off or shut down, or how would you characterize those things?
I'd say, and I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm bitter. But absolutely, there was a time when I was angry, mad at myself, mad at him, mad at men, mad at life, mad at this prospect of love. What is it? It doesn't.
Did you
exist.
set fire to a car and smoke a cigarette and walk away with your breasts out like Angela Bassett and waiting to exhale or nothing like that?
Why are you being funny right now? Because I really did put my now ex-husband out of the house, and he really did call the police on me, and I really did go to jail.
See, I'm just saying that stuff ain't too far from nothing. Like
Angela Bassett, honey.
He had to call the cop. Did he get back in?
Did I get back in, or did he get back in?
No, was he able to get back in after you locked him out or kicked him out or whatever you did to him? Or what?
Oh, I was handcuffed at the kitchen table and taken to jail. So he got to stay at home. And I was handcuffed and taken to jail, fingerprinted, orange jumpsuit, spread eagle, naked, the whole nine.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not bitter.
Now, you're not bitter, but that sounds like a better Christmas song. Like you need to, there's a Christmas song I want to read, and I want to hear that song. Like now that sounds like what Kiki Wyatt might write.
Okay. Now Kiki would sing that song. She really
because your ass gotta get out.
But I choose not to focus on that. But there was a time that my very good girlfriend, Althea Lawton Thompson, check her out, althearetreats.com. And she is a shaman. And she is one of the most instrumental people who helped me say, stop complaining, stop wallowing, stop focusing on the things that you don't have, that you didn't get, that aren't going right, and get up. And she, at some points, would not even allow me to complain to her, would not allow me to just cry. She's, get up. Enough is enough. It's been 2 years. And I had to go through that mourning process. But that's why now I talk about it. Like, I don't forget it. I share it openly. Like, I don't have any problem telling you the whole story about what led up to me calling his girlfriend and his mama on three-way. Come get your son. Come get your boyfriend. I'm putting him out. He can't stay here. I'll tell you that whole story. However, my focus is what it is I want to manifest. And what I want to manifest is love and joy and peace and balance. I don't forget that story and the stories like it. But I'm focused on creating a new reality rooted in the joy and the peace and the love that I expect. Am I optimistic about marriage? Absolutely. Absolutely. They chase and I choose, honey.
We're here with Charity J. You can look her up on all platforms at Charity J. Here Charity Sings. Mm-hmm. Here Charity Sing. .com or on YouTube or IG and Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook, Instagram, all of your social medias. She has button hooked up the place with Hear Charity Sing. And Charity has been singing about a lot of her personal issues and things that she had to clean up or sort out. But while she was cleaning up and sorting out, she was advancing at the same time. And so that's the really impressive part of the story, as well as you're seeing a blossoming of a talent right before you. I had a feeling you could sing, but I never really heard you sing before. I knew you did the dancing thing because you were on the UGA dancing, whatever. But yeah, all that. So she was it the dance team at UGA?
The dance dolls, UGA dance dolls.
The dance dolls.
That were the hot shots. So
yeah, all that. And she was a nice butterfly of a girl, just doing stuff and twirling shit. But I never heard her sing, and it's solid. It's very good. And check her out. And we're really proud of her as a Georgia Bulldog, and as a woman I consider a friend as well. And she's a good example of a person who just said, let's go for it. And I know a few things about let's just going for it, because when I quit my corporate job, where I was the only black person to ever hold that, only black man to hold that position at Geico Corporate Communications, it was a matter of, I want something better and different for me. Mm-hmm. And while I was pushing 40, I still said, let me do it. You did it. pretty much a slightly later phase, but around the same time, and you're the mother of 3 kids. Is that right? And
Yes.
going through a breakup and a divorce with a man who I do know. I know your ex. That means that you've done a lot of work, because I know how much work it was for me to get things done. And my father passed away 12, 13 years ago. Your father passed away well before that, and it's clear that that had a profound effect. Now, is your mother still around?
She is. She lives here with me in Metro Atlanta. She just moved here from South Georgia about 3 years ago.
Oh,
She and my aunt lived together, and she absolutely, my next song would be dedicated to her. But she was the first model for me, especially in this phase of life, for me to say, I can do this. The odds may be stacked against me, but look what Mama was able to do. Pull herself up for her bootstraps in South Georgia, put herself through college, join Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
oh boy, that's how you say it, huh?
Yes, that's
y'all just don't say Alpha Kappa Alpha. You say
Incorporated. But to do that and to become an award-winning teacher in a small South Georgia town, and retire with honor and with dignity, and continue to reinvent herself, not just having lost her husband at a young age. I think she was 45 or 46 when Daddy died. So young, and I was 16, my younger sister was 13. So I've seen her get up and keep going and rise above the circumstances to model to me. And so even when I went through the divorce process and the years since then, she'd come to my house and take care of the kids because I was too depressed and I was drinking a lot. I didn't have it in me. And she just allowed me to be, supported me financially when, I didn't see a path forward. And that is so important to me. And it's one of the reasons why I say, what am I modeling to my daughters? What am I teaching my son? As my mother says, children don't do what you say, they do what they see. And so as I think about my own resilience, I'm reminded that my mother modeled resilience to me. Whether she realized it or not, I get that decision-making power and ability from her influence. Like, you don't have a choice. Come on, let's go.
that is beautiful. And on that note, we've actually gone longer than the time that I had allotted, but that means it was really worthwhile. Charity, it's really good to see you. You
It's
look
good to see
great.
you. Thank you so much.
I love the Shawnmas red. It's better than the Shawnmas red I got. I hate this tomato red, but I'm gonna get more on the berry side of it, berry punch side of things.
Yeah. Mhm.
I have a small request. Like, so if you could, I don't know if this is possible, but since you're the Christmas diva that's gonna replace Mariah Carey,
Okay, call it forth.
please.
With honor to the legend herself, to the icon herself, but call it forth.
Yeah. Hopefully, you won't have any wardrobe malfunctions like she had the other night performing. Yeah, one of her very fancy gold straps, plip, but her Mariah Carey's did not get exposed, but they were supported. They held up barely. But if you could just sing me, if you don't mind, if you have the wherewithal to do so, could you bless us and me personally with a carol, please? I would love to hear a little bit.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity, for this platform to share my story and my gift with your listeners. I'm so grateful that you thought of me, that you invited me, that I've had a chance to chat with you. Let's do it again soon.
We're definitely done it again soon.
I'm going to do a little bit of Have Yourself a Merry Little Shawnmas. How about that?
Oh, hold on a second. Let me.
Have yourself a merry little Shawnmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together. If the fates allow, hang a shining star upon the highest bough and have yourself a merry little Shawnmas now. Merry Shawnmas to you. And can I sing happy birthday?
Yes, you may.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. May you go forth in all of your power and create the desires of your heart in this realm. And so it is.
Whew, that's preaching a word. That's a shaman's word. Ladies and gentlemen, Charity J. Hear Charity sing on all the platforms. Go
Facebook,
check her out right now.
And YouTube. Hear Charity sing.
Hear Charity sing. Thank you so much, baby.
Thank you so much, Shawn. Bye-bye.
Wow. Wow. So a hell of a story there. And there's a lot more story to tell. And she's got a lot more to go. But yeah, that was, I never had anyone sing to me before. I could get used to that. I just need to know some people who know how to sing. All my people don't know how to do anything. Oh. All right. So we're going to take a break here. This is an excellent pivot point for hour number 2 of the Shawn Show. But before we do, it's time for the greatest story ever told with a little twist.
Home Paternity presents The Christmas Story.
Today, baby Jesus, son of a virgin or son of a liar? Find out on...
Welcome back. Now, the birth of a child is a miracle, and no one believes this more deeply than my next guest. Say hello to Mary.
Hi.
Now, Mary, you claim that your husband, Joseph, is not the father of your child.
That's right. I'm a virgin.
We'll see what Joseph has to say about that. Say hello to Joseph! Hello? Now, Joseph, just so we're clear, your wife claims your child is not yours. And you're cool with it?
Yes. I know what it sounds like, but I had a dream in which a very pretty man told me that I'm not the father. It was a very vivid dream.
Yeah, I got a question for Joseph. If you ain't the baby daddy, then why are you trying to be that baby's daddy?
Okay. Now, Mary, several of your neighbors reported seeing this man enter your home around the time of conception. Now, is he the father?
No, it's not like that.
Go ahead. Tell him who the father is.
It's... God. God is the father.
Well, we'll see what the big guy has to say about that. God is in the house! Now, unfortunately, we can put to rest this eternal question right after this break.
With the Home Paternity DNA Test Kit, you can get the same DNA testing used on shows like this from the privacy of your own home. Get your kit and the results at homepaternity.com.
It's time to find out who's your daddy! Let's get it. Mary, Joseph, God, are you ready for your results? And Joseph, what changes if you are the father?
Wow, that would be really confusing, but a lot would change. The entire course of human history. The true meaning of Christmas there would probably be a lot less of those fish bumper stickers on people's cars. There's a lot riding on this.
Joseph of Nazareth. You are not the Father. Yes! God is the Father.
Merry Christmas. I'm not the Father. Merry Christmas, everyone.
That's it for this episode of
This Christmas, Home Paternity wishes you peace on earth and peace of mind. Get both at homepaternity.com.
Share this video.
And we're back. Yes, we're back. That was a real product, by the way, Home Paternity. And during these holiday days and weeks, please be mindful and be protective. And if you're not protective, at least be responsible. Don't be Herschel Walker. Because what often happens when we come back home for the holidays, it turns into an X-rated version of all those Hallmark movies that y'all love so much. We just had a really wonderful conversation with Charity J. And please go check her out at Hear Charity Sing on all platforms. And give her all the follows that you like. We're going to definitely bring her back. And I wish I had a production crew that could bring back that soulful rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Shawnmas. Because it is the season of Shawn, because my birthday is on Saturday. And there's a lot that we can discuss in regards to that. But now it's time to get on with the second half of the show. And being that is the case, and I have to rearrange some things, I feel it is important that we just reopen up the show, and then we'll get started. Welcome back to the Shawnmas Holiday Special. Shawn Show's Holiday Special. Happy Shawnmas, everybody. We just had on the first hour, Charity J. Please check her out on Hear Charity Sing. But now I want to get on with my next guest, who just had to opt out of appearing, but I do have video to support what I'm about to show you that happened with her. Angel Gaines, comedian Angel Gaines, was scheduled to be here, but she got a corporate gig. And just like people like me, she got to take that gig because I ain't paying her to come on the show. So she had to take that gig. But the reason why I brought her on is because I wanted her to talk about this. And one thing, if you know Angel Gaines, another University of Georgia alum, she'll tell you that miracles happen every day. And last October, now that they released the video, there's proof positive that miracles do happen. Take it away, Wayne Brady. Oh, that was such a great throw. And
You're going to roll that die in front of you. Whatever color pops up, Tiffany will move that block right out of place. Just knock it out of line. Okay. Your job is to knock all the blocks out of line, letting the green one slide to the bottom, giving you that car. If you roll the star, that's wild. You can make it whatever color you want to. Good luck, Miss Angel. Go ahead and roll. Okay. You roll the red. Okay. 2 blue, 2 yellow, 1 red. Let's go. Blue. There we go. Okay, roll again. A red. She calls that one the Sesame Street. So now you have 2 yellows, 1 blue, no red. If you roll again right now and you roll a red, you get zonked and you leave with nothing. Okay? So I'll give you $1,000 to stop playing right now.
I gotta get some windshield wipers.
You can't get windshield wipers for $1,000?
Not on the 99. They don't even sell those no more. I came here to win.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Don't roll red. Let's go.
Okay, no red. No red.
Yellow. All right, blue, yellow, can't roll a red. I'll give you $1,500 to stop. $1,500 right now.
I need to try. I gotta get the car. I gotta try.
Okay.
Gotta try. Okay. No red, Lord, please.
Blue or yellow, blue or yellow, blue or yellow, blue or yellow. Woo! Okay. Oh, Angel. I know, I'm not playing it. I'm stressed out for you right now. Okay, how about 3,000? And I'm offering you 3,000 because if you roll a yellow or a red, you leave with nothing.
I gotta go for it, Wayne. I gotta go for it. Miracles happen every day.
Miracles do
every
happen.
day.
Well, if you roll the blue or a star, you've got that car. Are you ready?
Gotta try.
Give us some love, y'all. You did it! Oh my God! You did it! Angel, you got the brand new car! You did it! Miracles happen every day, and they definitely happen for this angel. Go on down and get your car. Go, go, go! Go ahead, go ahead! Wow! Wow! This is the accelerator wheel. You have
Miracles happen every day. Angel won herself a car. Angel crazy ass won herself a car. And now she's so big and bad that she ain't even got to show up on shows that she got booked on. She's somewhere driving with a fat new ride over in Southern California, getting it. I am I'm pissed because I saw that casting to be on Let's Make a Deal. And 2, she won herself a car. Let me tell y'all something. If Wayne Brady in his too tight suit is offering me $3,000 when chances are 3 and 4 that I'm gonna jack up, I'm taking that $3,000. Don't let Angel make a fool out of y'all. You better take that $3,000. But on the serious tip, Angel won herself a car. And now she's rolling. What was that, a Camry? A Corolla? That's so awesome. I can't tell you how awesome it is to see that type of stuff. Miracles do happen every day. Well, this is Shawnmas, and this is the second hour of the Shawnmas special. And the second hour is not going to last the second hour because we did have Angel as a guest that was going to come on. However, I did have some other things that I wanted to talk to you about, namely the story of Deion Sanders and his leaving Jackson State. It is one that has been, I won't say surprisingly, a firestorm on Black Twitter, because Black Twitter makes everything a firestorm. But this one is legit. So I'm going to see if I can pull up my information here. And let's see. This is the coach of Jackson State. Oh, wait, that's not Deion. That's not Deion. Is that dumbass Herschel Walker lying, acting like he the coach at Jackson State? Come on, Herschel. You know you ain't the coach at Jackson State. You ain't even a senator. What are you going to be, Senator Pootie Tang for Georgia? I'm so glad that Georgia did not elect your dumbass. He's not even dumb, y'all. Quite frankly, he suffers from multiple personalities. So I'll give him a little bit of grace with that. With that said, Lord Jesus, that was close. Congratulations to Senator Raphael Warnock and all who made his election possible. But I got to have the real slide here somewhere. Let's see. I got to have that real slide here. Bear with me, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I need a producer. There he is. So what do we make of this? It's a prime decision. Now, the most important thing in the Deion Sanders debate for black people is that no matter where he coaches, he will continue to be a positive force in the molding and melding of young black men. He works hard, pushes old school ethics and smarts, and he has the respect and the persona that these boys will actually listen to. You don't believe me? Well, let's see if I can find it. This is Deion Sanders on his work ethic.
"60 Minutes Overtime."
I've been surprised by how old school you are.
Yeah.
You talk about socks can't be too low.
Right.
You don't want the baggy stuff.
Right.
What's another no-no for these kids? What do they know not to do?
No earrings.
All right.
In uniform. No hoodies in uniform. No sagging in uniforms. No one sock up, no sock down. Let your game separate you, not your dress code.
What's that all about?
Structure and discipline. When you go into the NFL, all the things that I'm teaching them are mandated. I'm preparing them for the next level. So if they come and matriculate and they go to UPS, you think they can wear any uniform they want, how they want it? If you on Wall Street, you think you can just fall into the office and walk in there any way you want? No, it's structure and rules to this thing.
You've got this old school sensibility. Nick Saban is not wearing a gold whistle, I guarantee
Nick
you.
ain't grow up how I grew up. Nick ain't from Fort Myers.
But you've got the...
I'm from Florida, baby. And you got to understand, parents of the kids that we're recruiting, they know prime. They just meeting Coach Prime. So I still got to get them some prime. That's what they expect. I can't go into grandmama's house and grandmama was riding there with me when I was high stepping and dancing for the Atlanta Falcons and I'm, hi, how you doing? I'm Coach. No. She want prime.
They want prime. And see, that's something that anyone with that magnetic energy ever uses for good, right? Deion Sanders is an avatar for black masculinity, and that is sorely needed. Now, a theory that the move to Colorado from Jackson State is about his son Shadur as well. Because see, Shadur has a few remaining years of eligibility left, and his chances to get noticed as a quarterback on a bigger stage beyond the lower level that he was playing on was winnowing. Or maybe it was all about bigger opportunity and money. Lots of that stuff. Who knows? But Deion pushed Jackson State to be the next Notre Dame, a black independent force that the race could get behind like the Catholics to that school and wield its own contracts and juicy scheduling and resources. And I doubt that can continue because when you lose such a force driving that vision, it could be now all mired in the Mississippi mud once Jackson State hires that just another regular nice football coach. But historically black colleges and universities can dream, and we non-HBCU folks have always said that HBCU alums and students shouldn't get cute and confuse poor services, financial aid woes, and dormitories with nostalgic comes with the territory tropes. Deion showed you what you deserve. And for that brief period of time, it felt good to bask in and receive first-class treatment, respect, the effort, and yes, excellence, legit Black excellence. So yeah, Deion came in to Jackson State like Eastside High's Joe Clark. Joe Clark, Sam's, bullhorn here, yelling about shaping up there. And the reason so many criticize the move is because he didn't treat Jackson State like a coaching job. He treated it like a mission, like a calling, as a cause for the people. He said, why can't our stuff be perceived as the great place, as the destination? And you know, that's cool. But no one told him to do all that. So folks are right to feel jilted because his mission sounded like it would last at least as long as, say, a recruiting class's graduation, 4 or 5 years, not 3 COVID seasons. But now it's time for HBCUs to lean on someone else. Whether we like it or not, yes, Coach Prime sold a movement, not a moment. That cannot be forgotten. And in that regard, Black people and our institutions only thrive when we have people who won't get us into a lather and then leave us. Because they always leave us. Whether you're Black, whether you're white, we're always left behind. Build for the future. No going anywhere else. That's how institutions work. Succession plans in place, something left for others to use. That's why I tell Black folks to get themselves at least an insurance policy. Build something. Now, Jackson State does have new facilities, some new corporate partners, a few insurance plans, but no magnetic Deion. He's gone. And I find it very interesting that this is anathema to a situation with, say, the civil rights movement. Once our charismatic leaders are gone or off the page or off the stage, the movement often stalls because we don't have that charismatic figure to carry the day. Oh well. As a Black man, I will still cheer on Coach Prime at Colorado, a school that tasted success when coached by another yet white evangelical figure, Bill McCartney, the founder of the Promise Keepers. Interestingly, Kansas City Chiefs coordinator and Black man and local Colorado hero Eric Bieniemy is a legendary Buffaloes alum, and he can't sniff a head coaching job. But now, Deion is trailblazing and will get all he needs to succeed and more. And the young Black men will be melded into the type of brothers that we need for the future. But man, we have to wonder, what would have been had someone like Deion not secured the bag? Had he built that thing up to the dream sold? Had the ascending continued at Jackson State? Doesn't take too much more. The ratings were good for the TV games, right? He already got ESPN to come down for the powerful College game day. He was winning recruits left and right, and they were winning and becoming an unstoppable force, not in only the historically Black college ranks, but in all of the football championship series ranks. Imagine had Jackson State won a national championship. Now you're talking about them getting into a conference. It happens all the time with Appalachian State, maybe with Troy State. Maybe they get more recruits. And then they could require their own TV contract. And then Black folks will have that school that's on par with Notre Dame or Brandeis for the Jews. Who knows? It's all for the autopsy report right now. That is what I think about Deion Sanders at Jackson State. Now, if you have some comments, please drop them in the box. If not, we'll just leave it there and move on to the next bit of the story. But yeah, this is funny though. How many of y'all went like when Herschel was finally put away? Lord Jesus. God bless Georgia. God bless Georgia. And of course, go Dogs. But not you, Herschel. You keep your ass right there. Be back right after this.
Let me tell y'all something. This racism has to stop. It just has to. I see these white motherfuckers everywhere. But I see these on the damn discount bin for the first time in 10 years. I've seen a chocolate payday. Yet, these white motherfuckers are everywhere. This racism gotta stop, man. This shit has to stop. This gotta stop.
Payday. This candy's racist as hell. This message is also brought to you by Snickers White. Snickers White. The Snickers are most superior than the blacks. All right, getting on with this. So let's rank these songs real quick because I promised you a ranking of the top 10 black holiday songs of all time. And most of them, I try not to go too religious because it's easy to get carried away by the spirit. But number 10, Eartha Kitt, Santa Baby. Come on. Santa Baby. It's number 10. That's Eartha Kitt. Of course it's Eartha Kitt. Number 9, Otis Redding, Merry Christmas Baby. Show Did Treat You Nice. Ain't nothing but cigarettes and coffee right there. Otis Redding, Merry Christmas, baby. Sure to treat you nice. Now we're gonna start getting a little controversial here because number 8, TLC Sleigh Ride. The controversy is not that it's contemporary TLC and Sleigh Ride in here. The controversy to me is that I almost put the Chipmunks version of TLC Sleigh Ride in here. I ain't lying. Alvin rocking that Kango to the back. Simon was rocking the Kango and Alvin was holding his stuff. Number 7, Jackson 5, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. And this is only because as a kid, it's nostalgia. Because you hear young Michael. Now, in today's vernacular, we probably have them dropping this sucker who's messing around with mommy, not realizing that Santa Claus was dad. But yet still. Number 6, I struggle on this one. Boys to Men featuring Brian McKnight, Let It Snow. Absolutely. One of the more beautiful, modern, crisp songs, that's not birthed from an 8-track, right? Really a good song. When you hear it, you do think of the season. And I think about that video and everything. I would list number 5, but I messed up and erased it. But I remember what the song is, so I can't put the banner up. But number 5 is the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I just think about Dave Chappelle acting like Nat King Cole and spilling champagne over a woman's décolletage and calling her all sorts of names and then telling her to rub it into her vajayjay and all that, whatever. Number 4. This was the song that introduced us to Die Hard. Christmas in Hollis. Every song, every movie that wants to start with some hardcore hip hop that's holiday, they're playing Christmas in Hollis. 3, I did this shit out of obligation. But you can't deny the woman is everywhere. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is number 3. Enough said. Number 2, In My Mind, Temptation, Silent Night. If this song doesn't say Joe and Julia playing their one CD that they knew how to play, and we played it every Christmas morning before we start eating or right after we say the grace, and it gets spun and repeat all the time. Now, if that doesn't say grandma and granddad to you, you got a problem. But this is a black folk classic. And it's the only one that's actually a religious song, but it's a contemporary take on it. And of course, number 1, the top black Christmas song. Now, if you thought I was going to put Chris Brown's Donny Hathaway this Christmas, I'm going to throw my shoe through the TV. Donny Hathaway this Christmas. It is the seminal secular holiday song. Seminal. You can't have Christmas without it. So that breaks down the top 10 songs. I'll repeat them for you. Number 10, Eartha Kitt, Santa Baby. Number 9, Otis Redding, Merry Christmas Baby. Number 8, TLC Sleigh Ride. Number 7, the Jackson 5, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Number 6, Boys to Men featuring Brian McKnight, Let It Snow. Number 5, Nat King Cole, The Christmas Song. Number 4, Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis. 3, You Know Who, All She Wants for Christmas. 2, In My Mind, The Temptations, Silent Night. And 1, Donny Hathaway, This Christmas. And no, there's no Quad City DJs, What You Want for Christmas. I like it. It's a little too regional. It's for our people. It ain't for the world. This concludes this top 10. Go back to fussing. All right, we're going to pivot to my last thing here. We sort of talked about it earlier, and we talked about it a little bit when we had Charity on, and it was really great. And I if you're just joining the show, I suggest you go back and check out our first hour that will be posted immediately on YouTube, because it was a great hour of a woman who had gone through some stuff and wanted to be sure that that stuff would not dictate the rest of her life, that there was more to her. You know what else dictates the more of your life too? Grief. This is my first Shawnmas without any of my parents. And it's a grown-up thing when they're not around. This picture, ironically, was taken a few months before my dad passed away. The thing about grief and how do you deal with it during this holiday season? As you see My father is no longer with us. He passed away in 2010. It'll be 13 years come January 4th. My mother's been gone since August 16th. You heard Charity, and she was talking about her dad dying in 1994. You don't get over it. But you should overcome it. And it should be a reminder of what they meant to you. Look at those two. Here's the thing about grief. And I know something about recovery too. So I'm going to just show let's see if I can go full here for a second. See that scar? This is from my first of two spinal surgeries. This is where they cut all the way from here to here to get to the back of my neck, to raise my spine, add cartilage and other things to relieve the C5 and C6. Back there, if you see it, you should be able to see the scar from my second spinal surgery. And then you take a look at my left hand, you see that all is not necessarily well, and that is from an accident on a set that I was acting on. It is similar, grief is similar to how we recover from wounds. It's the exact same thing, in fact. I'm going to tell you what was told to me, and you're going to be left wondering, am I talking about grief or am I talking about the wound? Because one thing I know about is pain and recovery. It hurts. It hurts so much when they're not here. It hurts so much when you lose. And as you try to heal, it's frustrating and even more painful. And it's gonna keep being painful as time goes on, especially immediately. But then comes a small moment where you might get a little bit of recovery, a little bit of relief, and God willing, you get a little bit of scabbing up. And then it's going to hurt some more as you scab up. And what you're going to have to do as you recover is time and pressure, because you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving the wound. And before you know it, you've recovered. Time and pressure, that's all we have when it comes to recovery. That's all we can do when it comes to grief. And then when you recover, you might be able to look back and say, look at how far I came. Or in the case of grief, you'll be able to look back without feeling so much pain. And you'll smile at the thought of what you're missing. And you'll remember them, and your mourns will turn into something else. This is my first Shawnmas without my parents. This is my first Shawnmas without my mother. And to all my friends and family out there in the universe who are experiencing loss, may all those we've lost memories be a blessing. And may God bind up the wounds. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Shawnmas. I'll see you next year, probably around January or February. Sharper format, new studio, and a lot more up my sleeve. Until then, I'd like to thank my guest, Charity J. Please listen to her at Hear Charity Sing on all platforms. Go to Hear Charity Sing, check out her new stuff. I'd like to thank Angel Gaines for sharing me her story of winning a brand new car on Let's Make a Deal. You lucky. She's also the first comedian to appear on Shawn's show, even though we had to use a taped appearance because she had to take a corporate appearance right before the show started. And I'd like to thank you for following me and checking me out beyond some reality show stuff, for listening to me rant, rave, and hopefully give you all a little insight into a world outside of reality TV. We got a whole lot more awesome stuff in 2023 coming for you. Until then, I'll leave you with a tribute to my parents. Until the music fades. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Thank you.